Oh no, I'm turning into one of those guys. Look at my yard right now. This was a little cart that we put a 420cc engine in, but the axle was too close in front of the axle, and it's a solid axle, so it didn't turn very good. This is a turbo 660 Raptor lawnmower. It made like 50 wheel horsepower. I had an issue getting the steering to work because I had to go under the engine, so that's why that one isn't running right now. The Trank, everyone knows the Trank. And then we got that 1979 moped, 2-stroke. It's pretty sick. And then another trike that I was building. And then there's Gina. So today we spent the entire day moving one garage over here. We still have the Formula Kart garage to move over here. Well, most of it's here. But I don't have time to organize anything because we have 8 days before we gotta go race this thing at RMM. And I have to start by repairing the subframe here. Have you guys seen the last video? It is cracked the whole way across this one. Right there. So we think it cracked this one. It caused it to crack this one last year. I repaired that one last year. But then it also cracked here because, you know, there was no structural here. And then it also cracked this one all the way through and that one all the way through. So we've got lots of welding to do, maybe some bracing also. That's priority number 1 right now, so we're gonna start with that. Oh yeah, I'm good. I also just tried to start this thing up and it stuck wide open throttle and then hit the house right here. I tried to grab it by the wing and then I ripped the wing off it while it was going away. So I ate shit, the wing ate shit, and then...
Kyle, guess what? Sully found another 4-leaf clover and I just found a 5-leaf clover.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't that lucky.
Okay, a 5-leaf clover. And then Sullivan found both this 4-leaf clover and this 4-leaf clover. And then I found this clover that looks like arrows. That's not photoshopped. I'm like, where did this, why does it look like this?
Or no, Yancey stole it from Fry.
Yeah, it was Fry's.
Yeah, and Yancey stole it.
Yancey.
We're just gonna try and groove out where it's cracked to see how deep the crack goes and clean it up so that we can actually weld it. You fucked up my shot, Matt.
Just hammering over your shot here. I've never worked in a garage with a famous YouTube star before.
No! You have to respect my idiotness.
Isn't that why we're teammates? Yeah, we're both pretty stupid.
You gotta be stupid. Race a rotary.
That's what I'm gonna title this. You gotta be stupid to race a rotary. I'm gonna write that in my notes right now to remember. Future Kyle editing this video, make sure to use the last part of that last clip because it includes what I want to use for the title. You love the smell of gear oil.
I love the smell of gear oil.
It explains why you were.
You don't like the smell of gear oil?
No, who does?
What's wrong with you?
Nothing. What's wrong with you? Nice big old fat lump of weld in there. Make sure Jerry doesn't break. I named the diff Jerry, by the way.
Jerry?
Yep.
Why Jerry?
I don't know. That guy. I mean...
Why are you gonna be so rude to the diff?
That's a neat little bag.
What?
That's a neat little bag.
Yeah, it makes, it actually makes this really easy.
Also, the Turbo 2 transmission, great idea. Like the 6-speed.
No, we got rid of the Turbo 2. This is an RX-8 transmission.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
The 6-speed RX-8 transmission, great idea.
Yeah.
Alright, now this one, cracked all the way through. We'll groove that one out, stick it back to close as we can get it. That's just the one that goes over top of the diff. And then it's broke on this side too. Ironic. So we'll just take the grinder, make a big deep groove down it. That way you can weld deep down and get a lot of penetration. Because if you just welded right now, you'd only weld the top half of it and the bottom half would still be cracked. And then we just crack again. So apparently this is the drain plug on an 8.8. Now, on an automotive circumstance, I only have 1/2-inch tools, but thankfully I have this rebigulator from 1/2-inch to 3/4. Perfect. I'm just filming because I know you love the smell of it and I'm just waiting for your face to be in it.
Yeah, I said I didn't like burnt gear oil, and I don't think this has been changed in 5 years. Also, it's
I'm literally watching for an erection right now.
Ugh. Sounds wonky.
That's a big drain hole.
It is, just in case. This is what the...
It's in, oh, so like if the parts come apart, you can just pull them out through the hole. Okay.
Yeah, it's a quick change diff.
Like move it out?
Yeah. Turn the camera on just in time to watch me smash my thumb.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's probably better than that. Nice.
Whee!
Alright, we're replacing aftermarket bushings with aftermarket bushings. I mean, the whole rear end is worn out. Like,
It's
seen better days.
yeah.
This is like 45-year-old mom with 6 kids looking to settle down. All right, I brought my air compressor and my tubing bender over so we can build possibly a brace that goes from like here up over where that would go to there. Hopefully it doesn't hit the word that I'm looking for. Is like, I don't know what it is, but hopefully that doesn't hit in the chassis. Garage is still a mess. Like every day I come out here and I'm like, oh, I'll move a couple of things. It's gonna get organized, but we still have to make progress on the car. 7 days, I think, until we have to have this ready to go down to RMM, which, 7 days is 1 day short of 8 days, which is not a lot of days. So we're gonna bust out the tubing bender, put some tube in it, make a U-shape type deal, maybe like 80, 85 degrees, 70 degrees. I don't know how many degrees it's gonna be. And just hope for the best.
I literally have zero idea like what angle I want, so I'm just gonna go till it feels good.
I don't know, let's give that a shot. All right, so this is kind of my idea right here. Just up and over like that. I might have to put a little bit more bend in it, even though that looks like it would probably work, to be honest. The less bend you can put in it, the stronger it's probably gonna be also. So, to be honest, that looks actually pretty decent. My idea is something like this. You can see that the yoke will go right through there. And then that is actually the biggest part. What we're actually trying to clear is actually the shaft part. And there's a lot of clearance between that, so this can move up or down, a lot. So if that fits under the chassis, that's gonna work for us. And if it doesn't, I cut the dang thing off and I build another one. It's no big deal. You got a grinder, you got a welder, and you got a flap disc. Perfect.
All right, grind down a little bit of this paint on the chassis.
I might have just had a stroke trying to say that.
It's fine.
Cool amateur, not professional welder tech tip. So I don't even know if it's accurate, but I like to bevel my edge on this pipe. You see how thick it is? Bevel the edge here, and then that way you have somewhere to fill the weld into. Just do it. Maybe? I don't know. It's a damn shame all my cool welding is going to be tucked underneath the car. You won't even be able to see it. Only you and I will know it's there, just us. Now that we have the slippity slop out of everything, we can try and press these cool spherical bearings in place without wrecking them. That is actually kind of a cool unit. And then the spherical bearing goes on the inside. So try and press that into place as it's probably a unit here. We're gonna need a press. It doesn't look like anything is all messed up here. And I did deburr the things that we did hit in there, so it should just press right in. I mean, you don't want it to be too loose at the same time. I guess I didn't need this big wok like this one to start. Struggle bus. Well, that was a real pain in my ass. The fitment on it is actually really tight. I had to use that, plus and it equaled that. So anybody who wants to do this, just don't. Because I still have another side to do, and I'm worried about it. I mean, it's in there. If nothing else, it looks kind of cool. Now the other side, I gave it a little one-stir with one of these bad boys. Just a little flappy wheel thingy. It struggles a little bit because it's a bit too big, but constant pressure and lubrication, you know, anything will fit. And now hopefully like this piece goes in a lot easier. I'll use some WD-40 this time too. WD-30. Roll the camera, we'll do it live. Frig it, we'll do it live. Oh yeah, that's why we don't do it live. So far, it's going in a lot easier. All right, if I would've just cleaned up the other side, it would've went in a lot easier, clearly. The other side, I had to use the impact gun and just like the whole time. And this, I can use the ratchet. So there's a big difference. There we go. Just a quick little coat of paint. And then see if we can get this thing in place by myself. Predicament time. So, yeah. The drive shaft yoke we got for the new drive shaft doesn't actually fit in the transmission, but the transmission seal does fit. So we got a transmission seal to match the new yoke. The new yoke doesn't fit because it has 26 splines. The old one has 25 splines. So I can't just swap the yoke because now the seal doesn't fit. And that's like our current problem. Outside diameter of this one is like 1.55 inches. And then the outside diameter of this one is 1.49 inches. So the seal fits this one, but the splines on this one don't fit the transmission. But this one does. So we need to find a seal to match this one. Did I mention we have 7 days to finish this? I still have to build a splitter and an exhaust, do a bunch of wiring and stuff. No big deal, Kyle. No big deal. You're only like in the middle of a move and stuff. It's okay. Everything's gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine. You know what? One of my favorite quotes is from Kung Fu Panda. And it goes like, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. So we'll just keep grinding at it, do the best we can do today, and we'll figure it out. Everything always works out for me. It's fine. Well, since our big black shafts don't fit right, I'm gonna have to go on something else. I wanted to build the exhaust, but in order to build the exhaust, the subframe needs to be in, and the subframe, in order to be in, needs the drive shaft to be in. Which brings me to the next part of the system. This header is the one we were using. This is the one we want to use. The only problem is it hits the transmission like right here. So the easy solution is going to be to cut both of these, like at the flange right here. And then weld in like 1-inch spacers to move it that way a little bit. And that's the only way we can get it to work. So that's what I'm gonna do. I just really don't want to cut this with a grinder. I'm hopeful that this will work. Dang, it's nice having a hand even when I'm not here. Matt came over, he got the coilovers in the front installed. There's actually a bit more space with these ones, so if we need to run a potentially wider tire, we totally can. So these are BC. What we took off was, I don't even know what they were. And that's what we took off, so, you know, they've seen some miles on them, some abuse. We don't know how good or bad they are, so we just swapped them anyways. Although the shaft on that one is hella thick, holy. And then he got our drive shaft fixed. He managed to get the U-joint off one and put the yoke on the other one. I could have did it, I just didn't have the time. I was out yesterday, so he managed to do it. Saved me a lot of time. Definitely didn't just put that whole subframe back in without the drive shaft. And that's the whole reason we dropped the subframe, was to get the drive shaft out. Definitely didn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Couldn't be me. Maybe somebody else, but not this guy. Nope. Yep, that's what I get for putting parts away and not putting them where I could see them. Drive shaft's back in. That was painstakingly unnecessary, but pretty normal in my life. All right, here's our make it work header project. We just added some 1-inch spacers here. What that did was pull the header off of the transmission. Now it's basically touching the transmission, but it's not hitting it anymore. Barely even looks like I modified it. Not even a little bit. Perfect. We're now down to 4 days left. What we have done, our new header is in place. And the new muffler is in back here. I've got to Y this out and go dual 2.5 to the back. So that's pretty easy, straightforward for me, probably take a day. I do have to transfer over the splitter to that piece of wood, do all the holes, and then probably make some tunnels in that. That'll probably take me a day. We did get all the new coilovers put in, so that's really nice. We got new bushings put in, subframes welded up and braced, and that's back in place. Matt is doing some of the wiring to get rid of some of the wiring issues we had last year. And I really feel like we are in a good position to get this thing done and be ready in the next 4 days. It's just gonna take a couple of long days. It's gonna feel, I think, a lot better. The new header is gonna be a bit more power. The new suspension is gonna be a bit more feel. The subframe fix, better feel. Like, it's just gonna be better, but not look better. Yeah. Anyways, it's great to be vlogging again. It's great to just be making videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. It'll be probably this weekend, and we'll be racing this weekend, so we'll be filming that. 2 videos coming out in the next week. Peace easy. Get that V.